Hey everybody, Zee Garcia here, and today we're taking a look at a mysterious party/word game called Phantom Ink. Ooh. In Phantom Ink, the players are split into two teams, and they are going to be one ghost, one phantom, one spirit on each team that knows a secret word, and the other players on that team are going to be attempting to guess what that word is. See which team gets to the right secret word first. Let's go ahead and take a look at how the game works. We'll come on back up here. I'll tell you what I think of it. Here we're going to be taking a look at the game for 4 players, 2 teams of 2. One player is going to be the spirit, the other one is going to be the medium on each team. And we are going to begin with the Sun team here against the Moon team. So, to set up the game, each medium is going to draw 7 cards from this deck here, and then the 2 spirits will pick one of these cards. They'll look at the card, and they will select a single word to share. That is the key word. That's the one that the mediums are trying to guess. They can use the numbers to discuss. Like, okay, well, what about, we'll do 3. Okay, you happy with 3? 3, great, 3. And then they'll put this somewhere. We'll leave it face up for now to remind us what it is, but don't forget, this is obviously hidden from the mediums trying to guess. Then the medium on this team, the Sun team, will start. They will, from their 7 cards in hand, 4, 5, 6, 7, they will select 2 of these. And they are going to draw or, pick 2 of these questions, and they are going to give them to their teammate. The teammate is going to look at it, the spirit, and they are going to select one they wish to answer. And they are going to discard the other one face down. Then they are ready to begin giving clues. To give a clue to your teammate, which unfortunately also helps the other team, you are going to write out your answer here in the first box, 1 letter at a time. And so, for example, right now it is apple. And our question is, how is it made? And we might start doing this. And you'll say the letter as well. N. A. T. As soon as the medium on this side wants the spirit to stop writing, they will say silencio. And that player will stop writing. If they're in the middle of writing a letter, they'll finish that letter, but then they'll stop writing. And then we will go to the next team. You are trying to say silencio as early as possible, of course, to not give away too much. Now, don't forget, the other team has not seen the question. They just have seen the partial, ideally, answer here. Once that's done, this player will keep the card that was answered separately in front of them. They can reference that again. And we'll go to the other team, who will, again, from their own hand of 7 of these, select 2, give them to the spirit. Spirit selects 1, and they will commence answering that question. This player should also make sure that at the end of all that, they draw 2 cards again to bring them back up to 7. And so this player will now answer some question. So, for example, you might do, this player is answering this. And they might say C, O, U, and then silencio. Oh, okay, after 3. What could that be? Now, we know what it is. Well, those 2 players will know what it is. So this medium over here knows this one, the question anyway, and they have a pretty good idea of what the answer was. So now they're trying to figure out what that might have been. This is going to continue going like that until somebody gets to one of these I spaces and a new rule comes into play every time we hit one of those. But before that, let me explain the other option on your turn. Instead of, and obviously this wouldn't apply right away, but once you've seen a few clues, it might matter. Instead of asking for a clue, which is what you've seen now twice here, you could instead try to guess the answer. And the medium will be the one handling the pencil. They will start to write what they think it might be. As soon as they write a single letter, the spirit of their team, if that letter is indeed correct, will knock on the table twice. Like so. If a letter is wrong, or as soon as a letter is wrong, that spirit will hold their finger up to their mouth, as a symbol of silence, and that player will stop writing. So that's how you are attempting to guess the word, and indeed that is how you will win the game if you can guess that word, okay? So once they've done a few of these, then this player might figure out it's some sort of vegetable, some sort of fruit. Perhaps they'll start saying, oh, I think it's an orange, and there's already been something filled in here, so they might go, oh, and the player immediately holds their finger up to their mouth. Okay, well, it's nothing that begins with an O, so we know that now. Now, back to these spaces. As soon as a team gets to that, and you'll see, like I said, the sun team always begins, so it's the moon team who gets this advantage first. Before you do anything else on this turn, you can first ask either of the spirits to give you the next letter of any clue already written. It can be your own spirit, it can be the opposing team's spirit. So for example, I might have not gotten enough from this. I'm now double guessing myself. I might say, okay, well, give me the next letter for that. And they might say N. Okay. And then they go ahead and get a clue or try to guess the answer. That would, by the way, was going to be counter, because the question was, what container would you keep it in? Yeah, on the counter. That kind of works, right? I think it works. So there you go. That is how the game plays out. As soon as a team guesses it correctly, by getting only knocks on the table until the word is fully spelled out, they win the whole thing. That is Phantom Inc., a very interesting, distinct party game that mixes, again, sort of deduction and wordplay and just a general spooky atmosphere into a package that feels entirely its own. There's not a lot of party games that come out every year of note that are distinct, again. So it's always nice to get something like this, and when one is outside the box even more, like I think Phantom Inc. here manages to be, that's even more worthy of note. So let's go ahead and break it down, shall we? We're going to start from the top with the theme and the setting. I think it's lovely, spooky, a little mysterious. It really works well. The aesthetics are lovely. Minimal artwork all over, but a lot of nice gold inking, good quality bits. Not a lot in there, a couple of decks of cards and that large pad, which honestly is a little too large. I could have done with a smaller setting, sort of central play space, and more sheets of paper, but it's fine. It makes a statement on the table and, again, puts you in that ambiance, puts you in that setting in a nice way. The replay value here is good. A fun variety of cards, plenty of cards in there. I don't think the game scales up very well. The rules are written for 4 players, and they mention how to add more players to that by simply saying everybody else is just another medium and they can share responsibilities. Either one can call Silencio. They can converse among themselves. It's really at its best with 4, which is nice that you can play a party game that plays very well with 4, but the scaling here is sort of uninteresting at best. So not one I would recommend for, say, a group of 8. You don't really want 3 mediums trying to all fight for discussion or fight for the limelight and trying to decipher something. Even if you can merge minds, one is enough. One is, one medium that is plenty. The game arc. The game is quick playing. It's easy to play twice in a row if you want to. You can, again, if you are playing at the ideal number 4, switch the players. Okay, now I'll be the ghost, you be the medium, and we play again. Because it goes quickly. It's a game that ramps up fast. You will often get to what you're looking for pretty quickly. There are rules for what happens if neither team guesses it when you get to the bottom of those sheets. I haven't seen that happen. I think it's very unlikely. So, yeah, it's a fast-playing, quick time filler. That's very good for this kind of game. The ease of play. There's a couple of sort of party game rules in there, saying silly things, doing silly gestures, knocking on the table, doing that, which could be annoying to some players. I think in this game, besides the fact that you need to learn those little things if you want to do them, I think they help the ambiance. They help the setting, and I appreciate that. It's not a lot of terminology. It's not a lot of keywords you need to learn and internalize. It's one word, silencio, you need to say, and then the knocking and the holding the finger to the mouth and all that. That's it. So again, gamery a little bit, and by that I mean party gamery. But it folds in nicely in this one and makes the experience a little richer, I would say. And then lastly, tactics, luck, strategy. Not a lot there. Again, there's that mild deduction you're trying to figure out. I would have loved to have seen a more open-ended mode included in the rule book for repeat customers, for people who have played the game a lot and want to create their own questions, perhaps. That sort of thing. Something else to reward as an extra Game Plus mode to give to players that have played a lot, and again, keep seeing the same questions, now have a feeling for which ones are more useful than others. That could, the replayability or the open-endedness, I guess, could decay quickly if you play this a lot. So I would have liked to have seen something like that included. You could house rule it, of course, but something official would have been a nice touch. So there you go. That is Phantom Inc. I do like this one. I think it's a fun party game for a smaller group, for a quieter night, perhaps, not a rambunctious party game. But we need these kinds of party games too, and I think this is a lovely one that competes with other games of its ilk very well. Things like So Clover, another deduction sort of word game, party game. Things like Decrypto, another game of its ilk. This is, I think, less convoluted than Decrypto. Decrypto gets a little heady with its steps and its flow chart of what happens when. This is smoother than that. So there you go. That is Phantom Inc. From me, this one's going to get a 7.5 out of 10. That is a seal of approval, and I definitely approve of it and recommend it. Again, if you are in the target audience and you want that quieter party game that plays fantastically at 4, Phantom Inc. is a winner. And that's going to do it for me, folks. Thank you very much. My name is Zee Garcia. I'll see you on the next one.